Right, guys, welcome back to episode 10 of the Championship Roundup. And we've had a big fight week in terms of boxing and UFC. Last week, we're slightly late with this, but we've been quite busy with work and stuff. But we needed to get this episode out because there's a lot to talk about. How are you, Sam? You all right?
Yeah. Better late than never sort of thing, and it better late than never.
That's it. Where do you want to start off with?
I say, shall we talk about AJ first? Let's talk about AJ, then we'll move on to UFC, and then the current affairs. Okay.
Right, so if you guys haven't seen already,
no spoilers.
There's absolutely no way you haven't seen, but Alexander Usyk is now the heavyweight champion of the world. He defeated Anthony Joshua by a unanimous decision on the weekend in quite a convincing victory. What did you think of it?
Yeah, to be honest, I think the main thing that fight showed me is that AJ is an athlete. He's an athlete rather than a technical boxer. His combos are very basic: jab, right hand, left hook. We discussed this before. That's his main thing: jab, right hand, and left hook. That's all he's got. And to the body, a jab or right hand. But we saw Usyk with his head movement, hooks. AJ's got no head movement whatsoever. And it just shows with Usyk's, 400 amateur fights, 300 amateur fights, however much he's got. It just shows to me that the difference in technique is a lot. There's a big difference there, and I think at a high level, his techniques are always going to win. It's easy for me to say you're the one that called it. I thought AJ was going to win, but
that's why I was waiting for that, man. I'm sat here so smug because if you go back one podcast and watch it, I did predict he would win.
Yeah,
but I didn't think he'd win on points. I didn't say that, but I said that he was going to take AJ out, and fucking hell, he was close.
To be fair.
He was close. Once in the third round, he rocked him, and in the last round, if that went on 5 seconds more, AJ was done.
The gas tank as well. Usyk's gas tank's there to put in the last minute of a 12-round fight to start putting it on him.
This is what you're saying though. You're saying that AJ's an athlete, but he got outlasted. So what's Alexander Usyk then? Because he had the technical ability and the athletic performance in the ring.
Okay, I would say athletic in terms of explosive power.
I think you're correct in that. He's quite big. He's got a lot of muscle mass, fast twitch fibers. He's very explosive. What went wrong for AJ then? Because people watching this now probably fucking heard it a million times. Everyone keeps saying the same thing that went wrong for AJ. So, but you break it down. What do you think where he went wrong?
I just don't. I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like after the first few rounds, he knew he wasn't winning. And he's kind of stuck to his game plan of this jab, right hand, left hook finger. And then I feel that he was on autopilot. He should have thought to himself, all right, fuck it, like, let's go. Let's make it into a fight. Let's make it into a brawl. Because he's not gonna beat him technically. But there's a risk in that as well, because he already got rocked in the third round. So it's like, to be honest with you, I don't know what he can do different, like everyone's saying. Also, fucking tangled again. Sorry. But I just don't know what he can do. Like in the rematch, like Ruiz, okay, he got clipped, and we could say, okay, he needs to go back, use his reach and whatever. But like, I don't know this one. I don't know what changes he can make in the short space of time where people are going to say he's going to win. What do you reckon? I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know what he can do.
Personally, being the absolute boxing expert that I am.
Resident boxing expert on CR.
But I think there was two major issues. I think in a boxing fight, it's quite easy to not know how well you're actually doing during the fight. So I think a couple of people picked this up as well about Rob McCracken in the corner. It wasn't very helpful advice to AJ, and shouting brilliant AJ every other second. It's not helpful or useful at all, especially when your fighter's back in the corner. You can tell, he's given up. The first 4 rounds went to Usyk. After those first 4 rounds, then AJ comes back into it, which is fine. But then the last 4, again, they're all Usyk. So you're coming back between each round. Your trainer should have the expertise and the know-how to say, look, it's not going our way. We need to switch something up. Surely they've not come in there with one game plan. At that high level of boxing, you need plan A, plan B, plan C. So I think that should have been switched up. In the rematch, I think if he comes out to box Usyk again, he's going to get fucked. I think if he comes out to try and flatten him out, I think Usyk is going to ride the shots and either knock him out So I don't think that's going to work. I think a technique for AJ that I've seen Fury use really well is when you have that longer reach. If you go back and watch some of the Wilder fights, I'll try to put a clip in if I remember. Fury kind of uses his arm like a sword, like he holds out. He holds out that arm, and that prevents him being able to come in and land any punches, especially landing. We know what Wilder wants to land, but Usyk again and again kept landing that left straight down the pipe, straight down the middle of the guard. So if he's got that arm out, he can't. That separates that distance. It stops him from doing that. So I think he needs to employ that, and it's again using those attributes, but it's not. I don't think using the attributes in the way everyone else is saying is the correct way to run and storm in and try and take him out. Because if he does that, he's got if he doesn't get him out of there by about 4 rounds and he's trying to employ that technique, he's going to be absolutely fucked. Because his gas tank isn't as good as Usyk's. And B, there's the danger that Usyk will knock him out. And all these people saying Usyk doesn't have the punch power, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that. He rocked him twice in the fight. He's rocked him twice. If you go and watch his and Dave Allen sparring, Dave Allen's notorious for having a fucking rock solid chin. And he basically concussed Dave Allen in the ring. Dave Allen said he didn't know that he didn't know what he was doing between that shot and until he was putting his gloves back in his bag in the changing rooms after the sparring. So this whole myth about Usyk doesn't hit hard. Anyone over 15 stone has the power to knock anyone else out. You've got enough power there. If you land on the chin, you're knocking them out. So I've kind of drifted there, but I think for AJ in the next fight, he needs to use his reach as the advantage. But instead of just trying to out jab him, he needs to kind of use that as like a guard for himself, and also in the clinches, put the weight on top of him, push him around in the clinches. The ref didn't help in this fight in the fact that he kept separating the clinches, but if you grab him and then push him into the ropes, the ref can't split you up straight away. If it's a soft clinch, the ref's going to get in there straight away. Move around, make it difficult for the ref to actually separate you two and land some more body shots. We've seen in previous fights, Usyk does not like body shots. Like even in this one, I think he quite signaled maybe twice. A couple of the body shots were low when they weren't. So to me, there's a couple of things AJ can do there, but
doesn't look good, really, does it? It doesn't look good, really. If we're honest, but like even like AJ going to the body, he's not digging like left hooks in there, right hooks in there. They're just very just like a long jab to the body, or a long and to be honest with you, like I don't understand. AJ doesn't move his head as well. Like it's just not part of his game. It's like very very simple boxing. But obviously he's got away with it because of explosive power and stuff like that. But fair play to you, Sonny. I'll give you that one for your prediction.
That's like the first thing I've predicted, right, man? I predicted Billy Joe was going to beat Canelo as well. He got his face broken. So where does Usyk go from here? So I would like to see Usyk Fury. I think Fury would win because he's so much bigger. He's like 6'9", and he definitely knows how to use his reach. We've got Fury and Wilder coming up October 9th, I believe.
No one cares about that. I've like literally seen a few things on YouTube.
I'm going to put this out. I've got a bad feeling. I've got a bad feeling about this.
KO'd.
Man. I just feel like the Fury's had a lot of shit going on, and I don't know how much work he's actually put into his camp. He flew out to America a week ago, so he's going to have, 3 weeks in America? I don't know, man. And Wilder's going to be in there, and he's going to try everything to get those belts back. It's a very dangerous fight. I think people looking past Wilder, it's a bit stupid because all it takes is one hit, as everyone knows. But
I feel like with Fury, you never know where he's at in his head. Like you don't know if he's on it, he's not on it, or like when he's away from his dad, what is he doing? Is he just chilling? Like I feel like he does better when he's at home. I'm a fan of what's his name, John Fury. They just put a thingy out on BT Sport an hour ago. I need to watch it. It's about the Fury DNA or something. Have you seen it? Come up.
I've just seen it. No, did you?
I haven't seen it. But I feel like he keeps him in check, though. I feel like Tyson without him can go a bit all over the place. And he's got a video out as well. I don't know why we're giving BT Sports this much coverage. We are the bigger channel. If you go on BT Sport, John Fury's got like a breakdown of the AJ Usyk fight as well with Derek Chisora, which is interesting. Oh, does he? I'll have to check that out.
I'd recommend giving that a watch.
Yeah. But so like, if Fury beats Wilder, let's say, Will Fury fight Usyk then? Is that what goes down?
But for the
Might
undisputed
as well, innit?
championship, but then I think that will happen because I don't believe Fury when he says I don't care about the belts. I don't believe that. I think he will go and fight Usyk because otherwise he could go and fight AJ after the rematch if he loses again. But I think he'll go and fight Usyk. But I think AJ versus Fury will always be a massive fight, no matter if AJ has the belts or not. So very interesting times in the heavyweight division, man. That shook up the whole heavyweight division, and we could get another earthquake in the heavyweight division October 9th as well.
Yeah. Just the last thing on the boxing. Manny Pacquiao announced his retirement the other day, so he's done. But obviously, like 8. I think he's the only 8 division across 8 weight divisions title holder. So that geezer smashed it. And even in his later years, like, you know, I think he beat Thurman, didn't he? I'm not sure. He beat one of the like top guys recently as well. So respect to Pacquiao, and he'll probably go into more heavily into politics and stuff. So to be fair, he's more the role model. You know, he's not going to go.
They love him in the Philippines. He's like he's a god there, basically.
But you know, he's not going to go off and do a Ricky Hatton and gets pissed and put on weight. I reckon he'll be good whatever he does. So shout out Pacquiao.
Big Pacquiao.
Anything else from the boxing? Wasn't there anyone else on the card? I didn't watch any of the thing except for the main event. I didn't watch it either.
There was someone else on the card, but
was it Callum Smith?
Yeah, Callum Smith. Callum Smith was on the card. He had a brutal knockout over his opponent. Hatton's son was what's his first name?
Campbell
Hatton.
Yeah.
Had an undeserved victory on the card.
Yeah, he's not on the level, man. Well, he's just starting, to be fair to him.
It's hard for him because he's on fucking TV. He's on these big cards and stuff so early on in his career. It's a lot of pressure. But I think Eddie Hearns even said that he needs to rematch. I think the guy's name was Martinez off the top of my head.
I think so.
Eddie Hearns said that rematch needs to happen basically because fuck knows what the refs were smoking on that.
Yeah. But I feel like Hatton, Ricky Hatton had a massive amateur career. Then he went into pro. This guy just started at pro. I don't think he's going to be on his dad's level because he has had no amateur career. He just kind of started at pro.
It's early. It's early. He's still young as well, man. He's going to grow into his body as well. So, fuck knows. We'll see.
Okay.
I've had enough of boxing now. Let's move on
that. Okay. Now I feel like I have to introduce the next topic. Yeah.
Go for it.
So where I was setting the scene, I had a boys round that had Nick Diaz merchandise, had a Represent t-shirt on, I had my Represent hat on, Nick Diaz army, and it always will be Nick Diaz army. But obviously after the fight, I was disappointed, but I was happy at the same time, if that makes sense, for 2 reasons. So I'll say the only reason I was disappointed with him is because the Diaz brothers, I know people have come out and said, he didn't give up, he just had enough, whatever. But to me, the Diaz brothers always mean to me is they embody the spirit of never giving up. Like Nate against Leon, battered for the whole fight and then just managed to get something going at the end. And to see Nick kind of give up, to me, he gave up. I don't care what, like, Bisping said he didn't, and Brendan Schaub, they're like, no, that wasn't a give up. But to me, it felt like he gave up. And that's sad to see. But the reason that I was happy for him was because at the end, he's like, you know, he took a bit of damage, didn't take too much damage. And I think we knew he didn't really want to be there. I hope he got paid. I hope he'll be all right for a while now. He's got some good money from that fight. To be honest, I don't think I want to see him back unless he always says he never wants to fight, but when he comes in like a little bit fat and stuff like that, it just shows that, he definitely wasn't ready. Jake Shields has come out and said he only had 6 weeks to fight, and Nick was saying weird stuff like, why am I fighting, like who set this up and stuff. He just wasn't sitting right. So but I would say I did see glimpses of the old Nick Diaz though. Some of the combos that he was throwing, 5-6 punch combos in the first round, letting his shots go. I think he threw like over like 200 strikes in the first round. Some nice body work, some nice lead hand uppercuts, some nice hooks to the body. So there were glimpses of the old Nick Diaz there, but just a lot slower. And his kicks were hella slow as well.
Yeah. When he first come out and threw that spinning kick, I was like, jeez. Yeah. That set the tone straight. As soon as he threw that, I was like, oh man. But like in my head, you get drawn into it and you forget that this guy is 38 years old. He hasn't fought in so long.
Nah.
He's not gonna come back like the
Yeah.
Nick Diaz when we're watching like the daily fight and like against BJ Penn, like all those fights. He's not gonna be the same guy. And I think it was good to see him in there because I think technically the guy,
technically he still got it.
His hands are fucking good. His hands are good. Obviously, he's lacking the speed there. He was lacking the conditioning. He came. I think he had to cut to 185 because I genuinely like. I think he definitely cut because he came in 185.5, and he looked a lot slimmer than he did in that video where he's like shadow boxing. My takeaway from that fight is I don't want to use the word quit because there's no quit in the Diaz brothers, but for me.
But I don't understand why people are saying that though, because literally he wasn't done, but he was just like he's had enough. Like he doesn't want to be there. So I don't get why people are saying he didn't quit. For me, that's quitting. Yeah, but people are saying because of his body of work, he's earned the right to quit. Fair enough. Like he's done everything. Like he's fought. I don't
even think that. I think it's a bit of a weird one because in boxing, say if you got to round 10 or no, let's say if you're in round 8, you've been getting round 6 and 7, the fight's changed, not going your way, you're not landing anything, you've nearly been knocked out. You'll tell when you go back to your corner, they'll normally call it off. To be honest, I feel like after round 2, we knew what direction the fight was going in. Obviously, Robbie Lawler had the better conditioning. He came in shape. And he started to take over towards like the middle of round 2.
100%.
It was only going in one direction after that. And I just think it makes no sense for this guy who's 38 years old.
I agree with that as well.
A lot more damage, especially I think a lot of people raise this as well, especially if it's a 5-round fight. Could Nick probably have stood up and took one more round's worth of damage? But does he need to take that? No. So
it's a sensible decision. But it's not.
It was sensible. Do I think he could have carried on till the end of the round? He could have got up. So in that terms, he quit. But I think it was a smart decision. And I don't think that fight. I don't think that fight had any business being 5 rounds. And I think the only reason it was put as 5 rounds was to sell more pay-per-views. Because
I was just gonna say that there was a big difference in Nick Diaz's style from the old Nick Diaz, because the old Nick Diaz will be throwing those combos, moving forward and pressuring. He was throwing them off the back foot. That was a big difference. That was a huge difference. Normally he's pushing forward and they're getting tired. They can't take it. But when he's just throwing it off the back foot and he's getting pressured, it doesn't have the same effect. And that's the conditioning wasn't there for him to push.
And that's it. And he threw a lot of volume. And if you had a look at Robbie Lawler's face afterwards, he's got a bit of damage on his face, but there was no real power there.
There wasn't.
And if there wasn't power there in the first 2 rounds, that power's only going to go down in the last 3. So I think it was a smart decision from Nick. Would I like to see him fight again? Maybe if it's the right opponent, because I think the Jake Shields thing, he basically tried to say that his opponent wasn't actually supposed to be Robbie Lawler until 6 weeks out. So I think that's why he kept saying in the
who set this up
and stuff, why am I even fighting Robbie? But then him saying I should be fighting Usman, like
wrong. Yeah, that's wrong,
bro. That's like.
He would have got KO'd. He would have got finished on his feet. He would have been out on his. He would have been done first. Like he would have been.
Bro, it'd have been first 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah, it would have been.
Like, that's not even a fair fight. Him versus Masvidal, not a fair fight. Like if he's gonna fight, it has to be against a legend, and I don't really know who's around for him to fight. Like maybe Sanchez,
Diego. Yeah.
I don't. There's no one really there, and I feel like in boxing there is that whole Legends League kind of thing with like Mike Tyson and like Roy Jones Jr. and stuff, but I just don't think that's the direction that the UFC want to go in. Yeah.
It's to be honest, I would love to see him fight if he's in shape and he wants to fight and he's taking it seriously and he's shredded up and stuff. But if he's going to do it half-heartedly, there's no point. And if he doesn't want to be in there and stuff like that, there's no point. I feel like Nate's a lot more game. He's a lot more actually kind of wants to still be in there. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. The only fight I can see him if he wants to do Lawler again and come in better shape. There's no one else really. Maybe Sanchez. But yeah, he won't. I don't think he'll want to do the Lawler fight. I mean, if like Dan Hardy or someone wants to come back and go against him, yeah, cool. But yeah, like I wouldn't want to see him get to Masvidal or anyone like that. So I think that's it.
I don't think Dan Hardy will be fighting in the UFC anytime soon.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just quickly, just talking about the Shevchenko fight. Obviously, kind of went how we knew it was gonna go. Murphy's tough. She lasted in there. She's tough.
Yeah, fair play to her. She is tough. That combination that ended the fight was horrible. I'm sure she landed about 9 punches. It was like you know the ending of McGregor Alvarez. It was that.
Oh yeah.
She basically doubled the amount of punches and just bless Murphy. Fair play to her, man. She is fucking tough.
Yeah.
And I said it in the last one as well. She's turned her life around like mental. So, but the next fight now has to be Shevchenko versus Nunes again.
It has to be. But to be fair, I looked at this earlier, and the last fight they had was a split decision in 2017. Yeah. So this is 4 years on. Shevchenko's always improving, always training. Don't know about Nunes now. If she's got a kid and stuff. I don't know. Maybe she's not on training as much. Probably is.
She's an animal, bro. She's an animal.
But from a split decision now, 4 years later, I mean, I would like to see it again.
I just think it's the weight difference, man. I think Shevchenko's obviously, she fights at 125, and then Nunes is 135 and 145 champ.
Yeah,
off the top of my head.
Correct. Yeah.
I think personally, for this rematch, I'm stealing this idea. I can't remember who said it. It might be like Nick Pete or someone. But why don't they just do a catch weight for this next one? Like, why don't they do 130? So Nunes comes down 5, and then she goes up 5, and then we will know who the fucking real GOAT is, because then the weight is out. Then it's pound for pound.
Yeah, they should do that, but I don't. Nunes is massive, man. I don't know if she can even. I think she might. Don't know if she can cut below 135. Yeah.
Yeah, she might actually die getting to 130. To be fair.
But yeah, 130.
I think she'd be game though. But I don't know. Yeah, you're
right.
No
one else, you know, in the women's division, it always seems like there's like a number one, except for the the 125, the Joanna Rose and Whaley. They've got a little thing going on, but like these Shevchenkos and Nunes, it's always like one clear person. That's the problem. Like, there's always a standout.
That's the thing. The division has got good fighters, but they're all within the same like skill level of each other. And then you got someone who's superior.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like what's Kamaru Usman's like. Is that it's the same in that division? He's above all of them in that division. I don't think anyone can beat him in that division.
Yeah.
And it's like Izzy as well.
Yeah. Like, Izzy's got the same problem.
Izzy's literally wiped that whole division out.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why 155.
Not saying that Usman and Colby, I wouldn't say that's a wrap. It's not a wrap for Usman. That fight.
No, but I mean, if he wraps up Covington again this time,
then it's a wrap. Then it's a wrap.
No, the only person after that left is Leon Edwards. He beat years ago.
Yeah, there's Luke and Leon Edwards. That's it. They're the only two that he hasn't fought.
That's it.
But Luke is he probably just wrestled Luke. And that's it.
Yeah, he'll just take him down. He doesn't even need to strike with him at all.
Yeah. It's only Edwards, but no one knows that Edwards going to get that shot. That last minute against Diaz actually ruined this whole title. That's it's like, it just ruined him. It's like he lost the fight. It's actually like he lost.
I actually feel really bad for him, man, because what more does the guy need to do? He got rocked. To be fair, like it's not even like, I don't know, man. I just feel like he's just gonna end up. Something's just gonna end up happening. Like he's gonna end up losing or something. He's just gonna lose that title shot, and he'll be like one of those people where they're like, "Fuck, how did that guy not get a title shot?"
He does deserve it, but we'll see. I think he's got a better chance maybe if Covington wins. I think they could have like a bit of a. Leon needs to get vocal and start cussing him, and they could make a little bit of thing out of that. But he doesn't get vocal. He doesn't put anything out. Doesn't do interviews. He's got to learn that side of the game as well. I feel like it's entertainment as well. But so side tangent. Going back onto the fucking main event. What a fight that was, man. I remember you texted me on the night. Wow, what a fight, man. And You know, Volkanovski, to be fair to him, I think he's earned a lot of respect from and Ortega as well. But Volkanovski got a lot of respect from people because after the 2 Holloway fights, people saying he lost the second one or whatever. But he just showed his championship heart. Not tap into that guillotine where you could see him. He's like a little kid struggling. Like if
not even a normal guillotine, it's a mounted guillotine.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
But the way he's struggling, it's like imagine if you put like you someone younger, like younger cousin in the guillotine. That's how they'll try and get out, just like flapping their legs about and stuff. The guy's mad. He's a Terminator.
Volkanovski is a different breed. That guy is built different. Like honestly, that fight before that fight, the Shevchenko one, like I'm knackered because I've been up watching obviously the boxing and stuff before. I'm like half asleep, kind of drifting off. That fight after that, I couldn't sleep after, man. I was like, whoa, what the hell? That third round was honestly one of the best rounds. Like, in the last few years, there's a couple of fights that have been amazing. Like, we've had like fucking even Dan Hooker, Dustin Poirier. Like, we've had some really good fights, but that is right up there, man.
It's the way he throws the triangle up as well. T-City, I was like, no, man just threw up the triangle.
Bro, Ortega, I've seen a couple of people giving him flack. I thought his walkout was sick. He had like
sick.
He had like the Purge music on, and then like the masks and stuff. He looked sick. I thought that was better than like when like Izzy does his little dancing and that. Like
100%.
This was actually sick. But then Volkanovski, man, that guy is just he's so different. Like his striking sick, his ground game sick. Like
mate, he doesn't get tired. He doesn't get tired. He doesn't breathe heavy. He doesn't even breathe heavy, bro. Come on. 5-round fight, breathing heavy. Come on.
I just think like he said, he calls himself a professional. I think he's very disciplined, man.
Yeah,
like,
it must be.
I think outside of fighting. Because the guy naturally used to weigh like 97 kilos when he was doing rugby.
Yeah. And it's so weird.
To maintain his weight all year round, and he doesn't struggle with the cut. Like, he doesn't... Like, that shows he's very disciplined because his body does not naturally want him to be at that weight. Yeah. But he keeps it there. And I think he's amazing, man. Other than him, I think him and Max are in a different league in that division.
Yeah.
I think the only guy that can beat him is Max.
Yeah. I thought Ortega's striking was going to be, but his striking, there were different levels of the striking technique. He was quicker, he's better technique. And he just busted him up really on the feet as well. So,
Mate, also, can we just say, after those 2 attempts, from T-City, you would think any normal guy would be like, nah, get him to stand up, make the ref make him stand up. This guy is just on the floor, still like pounding at his head. Like, I'm there thinking, mate, you are literally gonna get put in like a fucking heel hook or something, like an ankle pick or something. Like something's gonna happen. But he just didn't give a fuck. Like he's so confident in his wrestling and stuff. Like he was amazing in that fight, man.
But you know what it is as well. What I was disappointed with Ortega is that his submissions are sick. But you know when he's in full guard and just getting battered. Like he doesn't try and scramble or like he
doesn't explode. Yeah, he doesn't explode out of it.
Like his jiu-jitsu is amazing, but I feel like he might need to work on his like actual wrestling, like getting back up, scrambling, moving around, rather than just trying to throw up submissions. Obviously, almost, you know what, I can't say that because it almost did work, but at the same time, you don't want to be on the floor just getting battered. At the end of the 3, he's lying on the floor for the 10 seconds. The corner guy had to pick him up. I thought they should have stopped it there, maybe.
I listened to Volkanovski. He's speaking on maybe like the Schmoes podcast.
Yeah.
That when he was on the ground for 10 seconds after the round 3, the fight should have been declared a TKO. Apparently,
I think it should. I think that it was done by it was
by MMA rules. And then Geezer, when his eye was fucked, they were like asking him stuff. Yeah. I swear he was not even answering the right stuff.
He was looking away. He was like he wasn't even looking at the ref. It was weird.
Was it Herb Dean?
I think it was Herb Dean. Yeah, Herb Dean.
Herb Dean refereeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other ref would have called that fight, but unless somebody dies, Herb Dean is not calling.
Bro, the MMA guys let the fight go, man. There was another fight I think I saw. I think it was the Hooker fight. Hooker smashed it as well. But I think they let that go on. It was one of those fights on the card. And when I was like, shit, these let it go on for too long, man.
Bro, it was the Marlon Moraes fight, man.
Oh, was it? It was one of them.
Yeah. There was a bit in there, and I was thinking, they're gonna call it. And the ref, he didn't call it. But then Marlon lost in the end. So fair play, man. But the refs man. Unless someone dies, they're not calling. I think it was Keith Peterson in that. You know the one
Yeah.
that Dominic Cruz hates.
Yeah, the drunk one.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
drunk
the
one.
drunk one.
Yo,
Yeah.
to be, to you know, that was a mad fight. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. I was kind of hazy memory, but yeah, it was one of them back and forward ones.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
it.
But okay, so that's wrapped up. So Holloway Volkanovski 3's got to be in it if Holloway takes out
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez. There's no one else really, except for unless Cejudo comes back, he'll get a shot at Volkanovski. There's been talks about that, and I can see that happening because I think Cejudo's waiting for a clear target, like who's smashing it, and Volkanovski is smashing it.
Conor McGregor's talking shit about Volkanovski as well.
No. I don't think Conor can get down there to 145.
No, you can't. No way, man. Volkanovski though could move to 155 eventually.
Yeah.
I reckon he's big enough, obviously, to move up there. So, fuck knows.
But could you see him fighting like Poirier? That's got to be a big size difference, man.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ! Yeah.
If you think about it like that.
I don't think Poirier is going to defend that title much at 155.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
going to go to 170.
170.
Yeah, he's too big. He's too big. But okay, and then where does Ortega go? Just keep going back to the contenders, like top 5.
Yeah, he needs to build up and get some wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So wrap that up. Now we're going on to current affairs. And I think the biggest story is Jon Jones keeps fucking up again, and people are not surprised anymore. And it's a shame, really. I don't understand what's wrong with the guy. He needs to stay away from partying. So from what I understand, I've read some bits and pieces. From what I understand, they had a Hall of Fame ceremony where GSP got into the Hall of Fame. They had a party. So obviously everyone's drinking or whatever. And then he's gone out and he's been arrested for domestic battery and tampering with a vehicle, messing up a vehicle.
He fucking headbutted a police car.
Yeah.
He fucking headbutted a police car, which is so weird, man.
Yeah. And to be fair, Sonny, you asked me to have a look into the difference between battery and assault. So I looked into it, and battery is actually worse than assault. So assault is actually threatening to hurt someone. So like it could be like, so assault could be like me saying like something racist to you or swearing at you or like, you know, shit like that. Battery is actually the physical act of like, if I slapped you or I punched you, that's battery. So he's actually got arrested for domestic battery, which means that he's either punched or slapped or done something to his fiance. And when the police come, they said
I think he like grabbed her hair, pulled her hair, and stopped. Like then she ran out of the room crying. Found someone in the hotel.
But apparently she had a bloody nose and a mouth as well. Was bloody.
Yeah, I don't think they've fully disclosed it, but yeah, he's probably. But Jon Jones hit her, man. She'd be fucked. I don't know. I don't know. But he's at this point. Is anyone surprised? No, Dana's not surprised. Fucking weird, man. Like you've literally just been given an award, obviously for his fight against Gustafsson.
Yeah.
And then you go and just do something stupid. And at this point, it's just like, fucking hell, man. How many times can you keep sticking up for this guy? He just does stupid shit after stupid shit. Like, he says now on his Instagram that, I'm no longer like going to be drinking anymore. Like he's given up alcohol and stuff. But why is this just he turned to God once before. No, he quit alcohol. But how long is it before he fucks up again, man? I think actions speak louder than words. So we just have to see with that one.
Yeah, but I reckon do you reckon he'll go to prison though?
No, he's too famous to go to prison.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
I'll be some kind of bail.
Yeah, some fine or something.
Like he's not gonna go to prison, man. Like when you're that famous and that rich, you're not going to prison. So
yeah, okay. So he gets away with it again. Hence, doesn't learn his lesson. And and same old.
But he probably fucked up with his family. So that's what's a bigger punishment? I don't know. Depends how you see it.
Yeah, true.
Couple of weeks or months in prison or losing your whole family. Depends. It's got a bit weird, this chat.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Something good that happened though.
Okay.
the biggest troll on fucking social media, Dillon Danis, apparently got choked out, didn't he? By a bouncer?
Yeah. Basically, I watched the video to see where this tap is. Everyone's like, he's tapped. It's very subtle, but it's very, very subtle. And mans are picked up because they don't like him, but he does tap. And one guy in the comments was defending him like, yo, he tapped because he's injured. He's injured. It's like, bro, come on, man. Like, he's got pissed. He's in like some random nightclub at the back in like some dead nightclub, and this bouncer's just holding him down, and he just tapped, and I think they just got him out of there. But he's irrelevant, man. Like, I think he is injured, to be fair, but he's fought like 2 people, and he's irrelevant.
He basically put up like a picture the day after or something about how his ACL surgery like failed or something, so he's gonna have to redo it all.
Oh shit!
You haven't fought for long enough, and you keep saying stupid shit. So karma's gonna fucking get you, man. And the karma got him. But this guy who's meant to be like an absolute expert in like Brazilian jiu-jitsu to get fucking choked out by some random bouncer. Fuck me, man. Is that embarrassing for him?
And to be fair,
if it happened to anyone else, everyone would be like, yo, that bouncer's a dickhead, whatever, like assaulting him and stuff. But because it's him, everyone is literally taking the piss online.
But you know what? It's funny because I didn't watch it. Ale Kunta on his own podcast got the bouncer on.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, you need to send me that. I need to watch that.
I haven't seen that yet. So, shout out Raging Ale Kunta, man. What a guy. But yeah, like, thing is, like, Dillon Danis, he was talking, Khabib, like, jiu-jitsu, because of his jiu-jitsu, like, he'll beat Khabib, but everyone's just seeing through him now, and just like, you're talking shit, mate. You haven't fought.
He didn't even box Jake Paul. Jake Paul offered him, like, $1 million or something to fight him, and he flapped that fight as well, so he's got nothing there, like, he's done.
Yeah, he's done out here. But yeah, anything else that you can think of? The only other thing I had that on my list was a weird beef between Woodley and Dan Hardy on Twitter. Dan Hardy just sent for him randomly about the tattoo and just was... I can't remember the exact thing, but he got heated.
I think Dan Hardy is like... I feel like he's very invested in MMA.
Yeah.
And I think for him, when Woodley's gone into that fight and he's just fucking been a prick in that fight and just got through his hands, I think it pissed Dan Hardy off.
Yeah.
He's like, you're basically going in there. You're a fucking champion. Like, what is he, like, 5-time defending champion?
Yeah.
Go in against a fucking YouTuber. You have him on the ropes, and you just fucking stand there like a lemon. Like, I think that literally pissed Dan Hardy off. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you've literally let down the sport by doing that.
Dan Hardy's a bit of a madman, though. Like, he just had random like outbursts of like beef. Like didn't he get kicked off the set or some shit of the UFC?
Yeah, I think
he's quite an opinionated guy.
I think he is. I think he has got quite strong opinions. I think the only thing with Dan Hardy is because he gets so much like recognition, like for being like an MMA guru, like switched on and stuff. Sometimes you get into the illusion that your opinion's right in everything, where sometimes it's not. Yeah. And it's a dangerous place to be. But he knows his shit about MMA, man. Yeah. But he's right about Woodley. I'm on his fucking side because I think Woodley's a fucking idiot. Like you just didn't throw your hands. He's gun shy. Just fucking sack this whole Jake Paul thing off because he's gonna fucking bang you again. So just leave it. Save the MMA community the embarrassment. Let somebody out. Let Tommy Fury fight him, man.
Yeah. Tommy Fury probably rejected, hasn't he? He rejected the £1 million offer.
Yeah, because he's like, it's not big enough money. It's like 4 times higher than he's ever been paid.
Mate, he's just getting his peas off Molly May, man. He's just getting nice by her, I reckon.
He's getting paid more off his sponsorships on Instagram and stuff than he is from fighting.
Yeah.
But if
he fight, man, because the notoriety as well.
If he's a prize fighter, though, you're fighting for the money. Every fighter fights for the money. So why would you not? If he thinks it's such an easy fight, take the $1 million and go flatten him then. You're not even going to have to train. Yeah. It's easy money then.
No, but even if it's $1 million's too low for him, if he beats Jake Paul, KOs him, the amount of followers he'll get and the amount of attention he'll get will literally go, his audience will grow, it'll literally convert into another few million when he fights next, or if he decides to do a rematch or something. So
Jake Paul's not stupid. If Jake Paul fought him, if Jake Paul puts in a rematch clause, go beat him and then
Yeah,
get your money in the rematch.
exactly,
Usyk is
exactly,
going to get his money against AJ in the rematch. If
exactly.
you're that confident, go out there and beat him. I don't
Yeah,
think he's confident.
yeah, 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 and yeah. Oh man, I don't know. It's interesting. But in terms of latest news and stuff like that, I think we've covered everything. And maybe I don't know. Do you reckon that next week, if we get something going, I think the only thing is that there's not as much going on with UFC now for a while. It's just the Fury Wilder, but we kind of covered that now. So maybe we'll have to do like a little, I don't know, like guest a fighter sort of episode, some little interactive quiz sort of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. We've got a couple of ideas in the
Yeah.
pipeline. I've got potentially an interview with a up and coming boxer as well. So there's a few things in the pipeline. So if you haven't already,
Are you serious about that?
yeah.
I
I actually
actually.
am.
All right, let's talk off
Um,
air.
so subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the notifications so you're notified when we upload. Like the video. Go and comment because it helps with the algorithm. And suck it.
Peace.
Peace. Bye.